Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Feed the Beast. Playing some modded Minecraft today, and is it just me or does it look dark out? I thought I would start the recording off today with showing you something a little bit odd, and we're having an eclipse, so that's pretty neat. Anyway, welcome back, and I have been out here. I just expanded this little farm out a little bit. And we've been growing some of this industrial hemp. So yeah, I just walked through here, and the industrial hemp is pretty cool because it grows like sugarcane. You just knock the, it only grows too high, but you just knock the top off, and you get more seeds each time, industrial hemp seeds. And what else do you get? This stuff, industrial hemp fiber. And that's from a mod called Immersive Engineering. And we're going to be getting into a little bit of that today because there's something that I want to make. And I think temporarily we're going to make it right in here. And I'm going to move this clock out of the way. Excuse me. And I'm just going to make a little bit of a room right over here. And okay, so we have a little bit of a room here now. And I'll go ahead and dress this up in a little bit. But I went ahead and I made some coke bricks from Immersive Engineering, and the way the coke bricks are made are it's pretty expensive on clay, and then when you craft it up like this you get 3 of these coke bricks. Now what we're going to be using these for is we're going to make something called a coke oven, and it's not coke, you know, like Coca-Cola. It's coke as in like coal coke. Now coal coke is something that happens when you take coal and you basically kind of do like you're going to make charcoal, where you smother it and put it under a high heat. And it basically what it does is it makes the coal into a super concentrated type of coal. And that's called coal coke. Now I've just put down a 3x3x3 cube of these coke bricks here. And nothing happens because we also need to make another thing, which is and that's pretty simple, just 2 sticks, 2 iron ingots, and some string, and that's going to give us our engineer's hammer. Now, we got an achievement for that. Hammer! Alright, now this hammer is the main tool that you use in the mod for Immersive Engineering. Anyway, so here we go. We've got the 3x3, and then all you have to do is right-click it, and you can see the middle changes. And that changes. Now you can see in the up at the top in our one probe, it says coke oven. And if we right click it, you can see it has an input slot over here and an output slot. And what we're going to put in here is we're going to put in coal, and then we're going to get coal coke out. Now a byproduct of this process is what we're really after for the beginnings of this mod, and that is going to be the creosote oil. Let me grab out a couple of these coal blocks. Now you can put pieces of coal in as well, but it's much more efficient to do the full blocks, but it is very, very slow. If you look up here at this progress bar in the probe up at the top, see it took that long for it to go 1%. But why is this important? Because let me show you some of these crafting recipes. Let's say we want to make a windmill. I think the windmill, let's see, got to make, yep, here's your windmill. And the windmill is made out of windmill blades, and they are made out of treated sticks and treated wood planks. So what's a treated stick? Treated sticks are made out of treated wood planks, and treated wood planks, if you look down here, you have to take regular wood planks and then you have to craft them with that creosote oil. And this does require iron, but the water wheel requires steel. Now let's take a look at steel real quick. How do I get steel? Well, I can take an iron ingot and I can smelt it into a steel ingot, apparently. Okay. I don't necessarily think that's the normal method. And if you ask me, that seems like might be a little bit cheaty. But let's just check and see real quick if that actually works. I'm just going to take 8 pieces of iron because that'll use up 1 piece of coal. And I'm going to put it in here, and we're just going to see what happens. because if this turns from iron into steel, then that basically bypasses a lot of the really headachy part of this mod. And sure enough, just by smelting iron by itself with this mod pack, you can get steel ingots. Okay, so why is that significant? Well, because there's another version of this oven that is a blast furnace, and it's a crude blast furnace. And usually what you have to do is you have to take the coal coke that'll come out of here, and you have to put coal coke and iron into that blast furnace, and it's even slower than the coke oven, and it takes forever. So just for the fact that they've added the ability in this mod pack, I think that's going to speed up the entry level into this mod by by quite a bit. But I do plan on still building a blast furnace, and I do want to upgrade it as well, because there's several ways you can upgrade the blast furnace. But for that, you need to go to the nether, and for right now, I still haven't built a nether portal. Okay, you can take an empty bucket, and you can put a bucket in here, and then once this gets 1 bucket worth of creosote oil in here, this bucket will drop down to this output slot, and it will be a creosote oil bucket. Okay, that's great, but it's only 1 bucket, and it's 1 bucket for every single time. You know, you have to put the bucket in, and then you have to grab some planks, and you put the planks around, and it has to be a creosote bucket, and that'll give you 8 of the treated wood planks. There is another way that's even better, in my opinion, and that is I made us a tank. This is a portable tank from Thermal Expansion, and I made the upgraded version. This portable tank will actually hold 80 buckets. Okay, now this is the portable tank that we made in the previous episode that we're using to keep lava for our Tinker Smeltery. And this one will hold, I believe, 20. I want to say 20 buckets. Wow, I don't know what shift clicking did to that. Interesting. Maybe it turns it off. But yeah, so the cool thing about these are, if you have the crescent hammer, which is the main tool from Thermal Expansion, you can set this down in the world. You can see it's blue now. That's for input. If I right click it, it'll turn to orange, and that'll output. And you can see I have this one set to output. So this lava is flowing down and keeping the smeltery full all of the time. If I shift and right click, I pick it up. So it's a really nifty block. You can put it down in the world. You can use buckets to take from and fill into this tank. But one of the really cool things that you can do is, if there, let's say there was 12 buckets worth of creosote oil in here. If I took this and put it in up here, it would actually put all 12 of those buckets in here and drop it down into the output slot. I could then take this tank, and this recipe will recognize this as a bucket. And if I put it in the middle of this with creosote oil in it, it'll actually allow me to craft however many buckets worth of fluid is inside of this tank. So if I had, for instance, let's say I put in, there's 5. I can craft 5 sets of planks. So out of this recipe, if I had 5 buckets worth of creosote oil in here, I could shift click and craft all 5 of those crafts all at once and get a massive amount of planks. So that, I believe, is what I'm going to be doing. Now, one thing I'd like to test, and I'm glad this is not quite done yet. You can see it's only at 66%. I don't know if I put this in here, if it will keep filling this tank over and over until the tank is full and then drop it down, or is as soon as a little bit goes into the tank, it, you know, as soon as 1 bucket's worth goes in, it drops down to the bottom. So I'm going to be right back after this gets almost done, and I'd like to do this little experiment with you guys. So thanks for hanging out just for a minute. I know this is a little bit wordy, a little bit talky, but this is going to be getting started into this mod, and it's going to be really cool. So we're at 71% now, and I'll cut right back when we're just about to be all the way done. All right, guys, we're at 99%, and if I just click in here, we see we have 0 out of 80 buckets, and now we have 5 buckets worth, and it did stay up here in the input slot. So I do believe that this is a pretty cool early setup for storing the coal coke. You can see we got a block of coal coke, and our tank internally is empty because all of it was transferred into the portable tank, and the portable tank stayed in the input slot, which means this will continue to fill up the portable tank until it is completely full, I believe, and then drop down into the output. So yeah, this process is really slow, but for the time being, let me go ahead and show you what I was talking about. Remember I mentioned that if we had a recipe like this, so we have 5,000 millibuckets, which is 5 buckets, and in each one of these slots we have 5. So we should be able to make in one go 40 treated wood planks, which is awesome. And I'll go ahead and take our tank, which is empty now, and I'll go ahead and put it back in here, and it'll be collecting that up while we're doing other stuff. I do believe there is a really cool engineer's toolbox. This is really neat. It takes red, some sort of red dye, a treated, a wooden storage crate, and it takes some aluminum plates. So those are all things that we can make. Let's see what we need to do to make a wooden storage crate. So treated wood planks in a chest recipe. Let's just do that. And that will give us, let me make a couple of those. These are really useful items. This wooden storage crate we'll use to craft our toolbox, but I just want to show you real quick. This thing's really cool. Let's say I want to put a bunch of different stuff in here, just like a chest. It's the same size as a regular chest. Check this out. I break it, I get it. Notice the things didn't drop out of it, and I can't see what's in it. It doesn't show me. But just like a shulker box, if I put it back down again and right click it, all of my stuff stays inside. So this is a really, really good early game storage for portability's sake. And let's see, can I tell which one is which? I can't. So what you might want to do is you might want to invest in an anvil and name these. Because what you can do also is if you have a backpack like we do, we can then have maybe a whole row of these crates, and all of the crates can have different stuff, just like you would if you were using, say, in vanilla, like an ender chest with a bunch of shulker boxes inside. So I need to make aluminum plates as well, and if you remember from before, if I just need 3. So if I just take those even in my internal crafting, I can make 3 aluminum plates that easily. Very simple. And then for red, let's see, I've got some rose bushes here, and I think I only need maybe 1, because I think 1 rose bush gives you 2 red. Yep, it does. So I believe it was just like that, and like that. And which wooden storage crate had stuff in it? Okay, that one did. So we'll use the one that doesn't have stuff in it. And there we go. We get an engineer's toolbox. Now, engineer's toolbox is really cool. It has an awesome 3D model. Let me see if it shows. If you look like, see, I'm holding it just like someone would hold a toolbox, carried around. I can, if I shift and place it, I can place it down in the world. Okay. If I shift again and hit it, I pick it straight up again very easily. I can right click it to open it in my inventory, just like that. Or if it's placed down, I can right click it and open it on the ground. So it's really cool. Now, what do you do with it? Well, what you can do with it is you can put food in this part, and then over here in this part, you can put your tools. So let's say I want to put away my hammer and just keep my pickaxe, and then I'll just keep, instead of my lumber axe, I'll just keep my iron hatchet. And then, and also you can put your engineer's tools in there, of course, so because it's a toolbox, of course. Then when we go to start doing electrical work, it requires you to have a lot of different pieces that would really easily clutter up your inventory. So if you have a toolbox, you can put all of your wiring components in here. And we'll probably get into that in another episode. But then there's another part down here where you can put anything. And you can just shift click items. That recognized the longsword as a tool. And again, just like the crate, this guy acts like a mobile inventory or almost like a backpack. So you open it up, you got all your stuff in here, and it's really cool when you just set it down on something and you've got a cool little portable toolbox sitting there. And then what I do want to show you for the last part of the episode is let's head over, and I've done a little bit of cleaning up around here. There was a spruce tree right here, and I was going to leave it because I kind of like it thick here, but it was crowded in our little campground area. But I left all the natural rocks, and we've got this cool maple tree. I love the color. Look at that color. But we've still got our little campground. But if you check this out, I've put some berry bushes in over here, and you can see they're growing now on the side. And I put in this little path over here. So where does this path lead? Remember in the last episode we took over that little mini lost city, which was very easy to do. It didn't take long at all. So what I've done is I've bridged this gap. This isn't my favorite bridge in the world. I might work on it some more and do something different with it. But it's better than a couple of, I just did have grass blocks going across here, or just some dirt blocks. But yeah, the bridge is better. And I think what I'll do is when we get into the immersive engineering, I'll make some lamp posts and I'll put some lamps going across here. So that'll look really neat at the nighttime. So what I've basically done is I expanded out this area and made like a little deck so that we can do some outdoor activities out here. On this main floor here, I've got these two areas cleared out on either side. Now the walls are all natural generation. That brick was there already. This gray terracotta was here already. I know it looks brown, but it says it's gray terracotta. And all I did was put in this spruce plank floor, and I just used the chiseled spruce planks because I thought they looked pretty cool. And then I've made an entryway on this side and an entryway on this side. So that I flattened this area out back here, so we've got a nice flat grassy area. Hey there, little guy. This is not our pet. This is someone else's. So we might have to tame these guys. These guys are spawning all over the place in this mega taiga biome, which is really cool. I really like it. I haven't done anything to the roof. I left the roof alone, except for I did remove that little antenna stand that was right over there, and I've marked off with these 4 torches where I'd like to expand this, because right now this little top part, I really like the way it looks, but it's not even. And this is an even numbered building, and you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces between here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces here. So this whole thing is off center. And I'd like to center it up and maybe expand it just a little bit so that it's covering this area. And then I think what we're going to do, our very first power generation, I'm going to put a windmill on top of this thing that's way up on top of a tower. So that'll be really cool. And then down here, if you just go, this is the upper level. So this is the top floor. Okay, not the roof, but the top floor. And this area is a great flat area for us to put some mod stuff out here. We can do some maybe do some gardening out here. I think that would be really cool. Maybe have a setup for Botania, which is something that I'd really like to get into early game. Botania is great because it lets you grow flowers, and you can use flower power. You got flower magic. Obviously these areas are going to be set up for this will be excellent spaces to do machine rooms, maybe even have a mob farm in our base, but we have another floor right below, and I think this floor might be really good for that as well. Also, there's plenty of space here above. If you put things above, you can run pipes and wires down below. And then this floor, I did have it opened up a little more, but the natural wall for this area ended right here at this block. If I show you, you can see the wall here. And then on this one, the wall that's underneath our main part of our building, it actually went on down farther. So I went ahead and cleared out and made just one more floor underneath, and this really is just a subfloor to use for pipes and wiring. And because no matter what we do, I think I'd like to make things look nice, but still have access above and below for whatever machines and things that we're doing. So I hope that you enjoyed hanging out. I know I sure did. I hope you like the new place that we have set up, and I really hope that you'll come back and see me again soon. But for the time being, I'm see you later, and I'll see you later. Bye guys. Bye bye.